Hi everyone, it's Becky back again, and today I decided I wanted to film a study abroad tag. And I watched loads of people's YouTube videos and I googled and I went on people's blogs and I couldn't really find like an actual study abroad tag. So I found a living abroad tag and I found a few people's videos where they were just talking about studying abroad. So I've just taken questions from like a few different people's YouTube videos and the living abroad tag, like the ones that are relevant to studying abroad, and I've just made a little list on my laptop, which is behind you right now. So basically I just want to talk about my experience, and I'm going to be really honest. Obviously I'll just start by telling you where I am and how long I've been here for, which is basically the first question anyway. So I'm in Grenoble in France, which is in the south of France, although I've recently been informed that they don't see it as being in the south of France. It's not south enough to be the south of France apparently, even though it's very clearly in the south of France on the map. It's in the southeast of France, and I've been here since September last year. So what's that, like 8-9 months now, and I'm nearly finished. I'm leaving at the end of May, and it's May tomorrow, which is crazy. It's gone so quick. And yeah, I've been here like pretty much continuously since September, but I had a week at home in November for my birthday, then I had 3 weeks at home for Christmas because there was no university, and I also then went home for a week about a week ago. But that's the only time I've been at home. My mum came out to visit me in February for a week, which was really nice, and I had to sleep on the floor on a blow-up bed, which was not comfortable, but it was worth it for my mum to be here for the week. So actually I'm just going to skip down to one of the other questions, which is, do you miss your family? Which I think is one of the big things that people worry about when they go on a year abroad, because you are in a completely new environment. You're away from everyone you know. Like, I have 4 other girls here from my university, which is really nice to have like those familiar faces around when you first start. But apart from that, like, everyone else is completely new, and it's like starting university all over again. So yeah, it's really hard like when you first get here. And anyway, yeah, getting back to the question, do you miss your family? Yes, of course I miss my family. I miss my family when I'm in Southampton because I just love them. I spend so much time with my family. But I think because it's only France, it doesn't feel quite as dramatic. And I'm used to being away in Southampton anyway, which is like a 2.5 hour drive, or about 2 hour drive from my home in Essex. So I'm kind of used to being away anyway. And obviously I can get the train home from Southampton, and from here it's a bit harder. Like, I have to get a coach to an airport, fly back to somewhere in London or sometimes in Southend, and then my dad comes to get me because he's dad's taxis. So it's obviously harder to go home, but if I really wanted to, I could go home for the weekend from here. So it's not like I'm on the other side of the world, and it's not like I can't see my family or my friends if I really wanted to. So I think that's made it a lot easier, knowing that if I was really upset, I was really having a bad time, I could go home if I really wanted to. So yes, I do miss my family and my friends a lot, but I talk to them every single day. Me and my mum talk every single day on Snapchat. I talk to my brother a lot. Me and my mum and dad have a WhatsApp chat. We didn't exclude my brother, he's 16 and I don't think it's very cool to have WhatsApp anymore, so he's not in the family chat anymore. But yeah, I talk to them all. I talk to my nan, I talk to my auntie, I talk to all my best friends on like Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, social media is just an absolute godsend. I FaceTime my friends. Me and Megan FaceTime, like, Megan's one of my best friends from home. We FaceTime a lot. I had a week actually, I'm kind of just going off on a tangent now, but there's so many things I want to talk about, so sorry, this video might be really long and rambly, but yeah. I had a week in about March time, and it was a few weeks after my mum had come to visit. I hadn't been home since Christmas, and I know it sounds really dramatic because it's only like 3 months, but I was just, no, 2 months. Oh gosh. I came back in January, like I think the 13th of January, and this was about March, the middle of March, so 2 months since I'd been home. But I was just really, really homesick, and I'm usually okay. Like, I'm usually like, oh, it's fine, like, you know, I can go home if I really want, I can talk to everyone, there's no like time difference, it's not hard to keep in contact. But I was just really, really grumpy, and I don't know why. I'm never grumpy, hardly. Like, I'm not even known, like, I've hardly ever had mood swings in my life. Like, I'm usually just quite a positive person, and I was so grumpy and I couldn't shake the mood. I tried like buying all my favourite foods, eating those. I tried, you know, just having a Netflix day. But I just couldn't shake it. And I was going to go out because some of the girls here had asked me if I wanted to go on a night out, and I was like, yeah, maybe that would cheer me up. I was on FaceTime to Megan because she was like, do you know what, I'm going to cheer you up, FaceTime me. I did a full face of makeup and then I thought, do you know what, I would rather just stay in, have a cup of tea and talk to my best friend. So that's what I did, and that really, really cheered me up. I honestly think just staying in contact with people from home is the best way, because it just, you have that, you know, you have that thing that connects you to home. I don't think you should go too far and talk to people all day, every day, because you need to experience life in the country that you're in. You need to go out and do things. You need to make friends in the country that you're living in. But it is really nice to have that little link to home. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just the best way to cheer yourself up. So yeah. Anyway, after that really long tangent, the next question is, what are your living arrangements? So as you can see, this is my room. It's like quite small, but I have like an ensuite bathroom, which is really, really nice because I didn't know anyone else on my floor when I moved in, so it's kind of nice to have your own space. We share a kitchen. It's absolutely disgusting, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's this really big room. It's just down the hall from me. I'm like 3 doors down. It's this really big room. It has 4 hobs with 2 like hot plates, is that what you call them? I don't know. 4 separate hobs. 2 of them are absolutely awful. They don't even work. Like, they do, but it takes about half an hour for them to heat up, so I might as well just order a takeaway in that time. There's no ovens, no microwaves, no fridge. I have a fridge in my room, a really like little small one, which is fine. Like, it's nice to have it that way because you have your own food in your own room. Again, you don't know the people you're living with, so you never know, like, if there's going to be a milk stealer in the flat. That was kind of me last year, but it's a different story. I have a fridge in my room, and when I got here, I bought a toaster and a kettle. As a British person, a kettle is essential for life. I must use it like 4 or 5 times a day to have coffee or tea, mainly tea. I have a cup of tea here right now. I don't know what I'd do without my kettle. The toaster I do use quite a lot as well, but it just blows my mind that there is no oven. There's no oven in here. And yeah, the kitchen we share between the whole floor, and I think there's 28 of us on this floor. So imagine 28 people trying to cook on essentially 2 hobs. So yeah, it's okay now because this semester a lot of people have left. And it's really weird in here because it's kind of like a ghost town. Like, I hardly ever see anyone, and there's 4 floors in here with 28 people on each floor, and I hardly ever see anyone. It's just weird. Like, really, I think if I'd have thought about it beforehand, I should have applied to live like in a flat with French people or with other Erasmus students, because it would have been a lot more sociable in terms of the actual living arrangements. But it's been okay. This is really, really cheap. I'm just going to tell you, it's €287 a month, which is just insane. Like, I've never paid that little amount of money to live in halls before. So I can't really complain because I'm not really paying much money at all. Compared to in the UK, it'd be like double that per month if you were to live in university accommodation. And you can apply for help from the French government as an Erasmus student. They'll help pay towards your accommodation. I didn't end up getting that because the paperwork was absolutely insane. I went down to the office in about October, and I applied for it, and the woman in the office was like, yeah, everything's fine, that'll be in your account in November. Was not in my account in November, and I tried again and again, and they kept telling me there's still something missing from your file. Nothing was missing from my file. I sent in this document, I think it was my passport, I sent it to them twice, still missing from my file, so I just gave up. And I have a sneaky suspicion that they do it on purpose so that you don't apply for this money from the French government. It's called CAF. And yeah, it worked because I was so fed up of just being messed around, I gave up, which is really, really bad. But anyway, yeah, accommodation is okay. It has its advantages in terms of being cheap, and it is quite sociable in here. Like last semester I had quite a few good friends in my flat, especially there was 2 Irish girls in here. They've gone home now, sadly. But we got to know each other really well, and we went on nights out and did things together, and that was really, really nice. But disadvantages, the kitchen is always disgusting, there's no oven, and so I'm essentially living on pasta and rice most of the time, unless we go get pizza, which I'm not going to tell you how often that is, but quite often. Anyway, okay, so oh, and also just to mention quickly that the other advantage about this accommodation is so close to the campus. Like there's a tram, you can probably hear it going past now, there's a tram stop right outside that takes you directly to the campus, but you don't even need it. You can walk to the campus in literally like 10-15 minutes. I've walked to the campus in under 10 minutes when I've been late before, and I've still made it to class on time, so that is another advantage. Plus the tram stop being right outside, I can get into town within like 15 minutes. It's really, really convenient, and I have a lovely view out of my window of the mountains, which is something I really, really like about Grenoble. Everywhere you look, there's a mountain, and usually some snow on top, even when it's really, really hot, so that's pretty cool. Can't complain about the views. Okay, do you speak the local language, and is it important to learn it? So yes, I do speak French. I study French at university, so hopefully I speak it pretty well. When I first got here, I had absolutely no confidence in speaking French to French people. I was like, oh my god, they're going to judge me so much. You can hear so much that I am not French. I had zero confidence, and that's why I chose to come to France for my year abroad, because I needed to change that. Like, it was just ridiculous how scared I was of speaking French to a French person. So now that's changed, I feel so much more confident. Like, I can actually have a conversation in French, an everyday conversation with a French person. Yes, they know I'm not French because of my accent, but we can communicate. They know what I'm saying, I know what they're saying. I just feel so much more confident, and I'm so happy about the fact that my year abroad has changed that. Is it important to learn French if you're going to live in France? I would say yes, because there seems to be this thing. Before I came to France, I thought, oh god, everyone's going to speak English, they're going to hear that I'm English, and then they're just going to speak to me in English. That does happen sometimes, but I think the more confident you get, the more they stick to French. And French people are generally more inclined to want to speak French because that's their language. So they do. It's hard. I don't want to stereotype French people, but they don't have a lot of patience. If your French comes out like you're stuttering, they will switch to English if they speak English because it's more convenient for them, it's quicker, you know. But the more confident you get, the more likely they are to stick in French. And actually, I've met a lot of French people here who say that they suck at languages. I don't know if that's true, and I thought that was English people. I thought we were the ones, as a country, that are like, everyone speaks English, what's the point in learning other languages? Obviously that is not my mindset, because I do a modern languages degree and I speak French, German, and I've started to learn Mandarin at university. So for me, I love other languages. I think it's such an amazing skill to have, to be able to communicate. But as a general population, British population, I would say we are not the best at going out of our way to learn other languages. But apparently French people are known as the ones in Europe that don't really try to learn other languages. So actually, people may speak a bit of English, they'll speak basic English, they can get by, but actually, how many times can I say actually in 10 seconds? I've found that my French is sometimes better than French people's English, and that's actually given me so much motivation, so much, I don't know, confidence, because I've realised actually I can speak French, and it's easier for me to speak French than it is for them to switch into English. I've had a lot of encounters where they've heard I'm English, or they've heard that I'm from an English-speaking country, and they've switched to English, and I've carried on speaking in French because I want to speak in French, and they've gone, oh, your French is actually really good, and they've switched back to French, and that was easier for both of us. So that's given me so much confidence. But if you are thinking of coming to France on a year abroad, or I don't know, a semester abroad or whatever, if you don't speak French, it's not the end of the world, because there will be people that speak English. I just think you might have a bit of trouble with people being like, well, why don't you speak French? You're in France, you should speak French, that kind of thing. But I also think that if you learn the basics of French, you'll probably be fine. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I think I'm going to turn this video into 2 videos, because I'm just looking at the time on the camera and it's already 15 minutes long. So I will film a few more questions and then I'll stop and I'll start another video and upload that at a later date, probably, because I don't think anyone wants to sit and watch me ramble on for a whole 40 minutes in one go. I don't know. Okay, so what do you think about the country you live in? How well do they receive foreigners? So I've kind of just discussed it a bit about the language side of things, but so for me, I've had a mixed experience. You either, when you're out with your other friends that are English speaking, so I've made friends here, my main friends here, I've really tried to make friends with French people, I'll talk about that in a minute, but my main friends that I've made here are, this semester, are 3 girls that I spend most of my time with. Hopefully they don't mind me talking about them. Mel, Carrie and Neve. Mel, oh gosh, I was going to say Carrie's English, she would kill me. Mel is English, Carrie is Scottish, and Neve is Irish. So we all speak in English, obviously, together. That's all our first language. So when we're out and about, we're all speaking in English, because it would just be so weird for us to speak in French to each other. Like, why would we do that, you know? So obviously when we're out and about, we're talking in English, and you get, like, most of the people will react in the same way. They'll stare at you. I don't want to stereotype again, but I have found that French people stare. They have no shame, they just stare at you. Anyone and everyone. Even if you make eye contact with them, they will not break. They will carry on staring at you. And it's so weird to me, because in England, everyone's so, like, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but everyone in England is kind of in their own little bubble. We are so awkward with each other that if you make eye contact, everyone just looks away, you know? Whereas in France, even if I'm looking directly into your eyes, they will carry on staring. And so when you're speaking English in public, you get a lot of stares. You get people obviously listening to your conversation because they want to try and work out what you're talking about. I've also had people talk about me in French thinking I can't understand them. And most of the time I just ignore it, because it's not horrible. They're just saying, oh look, they're English, like blah blah blah. But one girl on the tram, she slagged off my eye makeup, and I just couldn't keep quiet. I turned around to her and I was like, I can't understand you. And she was like, she was very embarrassed. She proceeded to call me all sorts of words under the sun, which I will not repeat, but yeah, that really embarrassed her. So I don't know. It's kind of annoying sometimes, because people will assume you're English, you don't speak French. So you do get yourselves into a few awkward situations where people will talk about you and you understand everything they're saying. So yeah. But yeah, so you receive a lot of attention if you're speaking in English. Some people don't care at all. But a lot of people will stare at you and listen to your conversation. So be prepared to, I don't know, have a lot of attention from the fact that you're speaking English in public. How well do they receive foreigners? So I think obviously France is quite a multicultural country now anyway. There are a lot of immigrants here. So I'd say it's quite an open society. Like, I've not experienced any like racism or anything like that since being in Grenoble. I think it's just quite an ethnically diverse city. So I'd say, apart from the fact that they stare at you and listen to your conversation, I haven't had any negative experiences particularly. The only thing I would say is that, again, maybe a stereotype, or maybe just the boys in Grenoble, but the boys here are very forward, and when they hear that you are speaking English, they come up, and this is going to be my impression of a French person, which I do not want anyone to take in an offensive way, but they say, I want to practice my English with you. And it's quite sweet in a way, and I take no offence from it. I'm just like, okay, cool, like if you want to speak in English. But yeah, be prepared. If you're an English speaking girl or boy, I don't know, anyone that hears that you're speaking in English and they like the look of you, they will probably approach you with that line and try to use it as a chat up line. So that's happened quite a few times to me and my friends. But no, they're quite like, there's been no negative experience for me, hardly. And obviously you get one or two people that are just not nice in general, so it wouldn't matter if you were French or English or German or Dutch or anything, they'd still be horrible. But yeah, I'd say they're pretty good at receiving foreigners. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that one. And the last one I'm just going to answer now in this video, because this is getting so long, is what's something you use every day that you think your home country should also have? The tram. 100% the tram. That is one of the things I absolutely love about Grenoble. It's so easy to get around, even if you want to go somewhere like that's in the suburbs of Grenoble, because I actually live in Saint-Martin-d'Air, which is not technically Grenoble, but it's like one of the suburbs. If you want to get into the city centre, it's so easy. If you want to get down to the shopping centre that's down in another suburb, so easy. I have my tram card, which costs €15 a month if you're between, I think it's 16 to 25, yeah, I think. €15 a month, and you can use it, like, there's no limit on how much you can use it, which is absolutely insane, because you can literally get everywhere. Like, I never take a taxi, we never walk anywhere. If it's within walking distance, obviously we walk, but you never have to walk somewhere really far away because the tram is there. So that is something I absolutely love, and I think England should follow suit. I know a lot of big cities, especially in the north of England, have a tram system, and before coming here I never really thought about it. I was like, well, you know, everyone has a car, everyone can take the bus, the trains, but I honestly think a tram system for a big city is just such a good idea. I sound like such an adult right now. We should have tram systems in the UK. I'm going to pitch this to Theresa May herself, and she should listen up. Yeah, so that's the thing I really love. And yeah, so I'm going to stop this now, and in the next video I'm going to look exactly the same because I'm going to film it right now. But I've still got so many questions to answer, so I think it would be better to do this in 2 parts. So thank you for watching this, and if you enjoyed it, I will obviously be doing a part 2 right now, so once that's uploaded you can go and watch that as well. And if anyone has any more questions they want me to answer about my time here, obviously I haven't finished in Grenoble yet, I've still got 4 more weeks. So if anyone wants me to talk about it, about anything, any other aspect about studying abroad, please let me know, and I will do another video potentially then, maybe before I leave or once I'm back in the UK. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a like or subscribe and let your friends know about my channel, and I will see you in the next video.